Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. You are always most welcome. So today, something a bit different from ICM. Another one of these slightly unusual subjects that they choose, which they do very, very well. And it's the mobile field kitchen, or GoulaschKanone, of the World War II German army. Now, as soon as I saw this coming through from ICM for me to review, I immediately thought about the BBC TV series. Sorry, it's not BBC, I beg your pardon. TV series. The BBC didn't do anything this good. I think it's on Channel 5 or Channel 4. It used to be on in the UK anyway, and it's called Combat Dealers. And it's actually sort of presented by a chap called Bruce Crompton, who is this sort of chap with a very strong London accent, who is an ex-paratrooper. He's actually been in the forces, and he's quite a talented guy actually. I think he comes across as a little bit odd in some respects, but in a good way. He's actually been a director of a big drain company, Lanes for Drains. But he has his own business which restores military equipment, basically tanks and trucks and military guns, you name it, all safely deactivated, and they're used in historical films, of course. There's many films like Fury where he's worked on vehicles that have been used, and he's really quite an entertaining guy, and he knows his history really well. And it's very entertaining because what they basically do, they'll get some rather poor condition vehicle, tank or whatever, and then they'll be up against a bit of a deadline, and they've got to try and buy one or buy it for one person and sell it to somebody else. But it's a very entertaining show, and you learn a whole lot of history. And one of the subjects that he covered was these goulash canones, and I'd never even heard of them before, and I watched it with great interest. So have a look it up on YouTube. I don't know if it's actually available to watch free, but you'll certainly probably see a clip of it, and it's very interesting. Anyway, back to the kit. I think I've given Bruce enough of a plug there. But I have thoroughly enjoyed that programme over the years. So what we've got here is basically the German army, being very organised in World War II as they were, determined to supply their field units with these trucks that would drive round and basically have a mobile kitchen that can be wheeled about, from perhaps position to position of the soldiers in the field. And here it's on the back of a lorry, an LKW lorry. So let's read, without further ado, let's read what they say. It says, to provide hot meals to Wehrmacht soldiers in the field, company kitchens were set up to prepare such meals. Qualified cooks were in charge of these issues, who also used the services of their assistants. The cooked food was distributed either directly into soldiers' pots or into a special large thermoses for delivery to units located a certain distance from the field kitchens. So if they're in trenches and things. The Wehrmacht used field kitchens of several types. Large kitchens for cooking for the number of soldiers from 125 to 225 men. Wow, that's a lot of meals, isn't it? Or smaller kitchens for 60 to 125 people. They were transported either on a trailer behind cars or by a team of horses. Well, of course, the Germans in World War II used a lot of horse-drawn carriages and things. People think they were highly mechanised than they were at the front, but their support structure relied on horses still. They were transported either on a trailer behind cars or a team of horses. They were also installed in the backs of trucks, such as the French-made AHN trucks in the Wehrmacht's numerous fleet. So, stolen trucks, basically. Soldiers' humour gave the field kitchens the name GoulaschKanone, or GoulaschKanone. So, yeah, this is obviously the nickname that the troops gave it. Okay. Very interesting subject. So this is the French truck with the goulash. The GoulaschKanone is the bit with the chimney, the actual. It's like a mobile Arga cooker almost, you could say, like a mobile oven. Let's have a look on the side. So we can see you've got two options. You've got basically what looks like German grey. or is it field grey? And then you've got Dunkelgelb, dark yellow, depending on which front you're on, etc. Kit number is 35415, and I have a funny feeling this is going to be a real corker and something a little bit different and perfect for dioramas. You know, if you want to do a scene, perhaps a wintry scene where you've got some very cold soldiers desperately waiting for a hot meal. This is the way it's going to come to a lot of them. So let's get in. ICM use this system of 6 bits of tape, and the tape is really strong. It's like a plastic tape, and it's very effective. There we go. In. Now the real trial of getting the top box off. So no problem today. Okay, there we go. Right. Oh yes. Now this is good. These are the sort of vehicles they keep producing. These little vehicles, and they're always nice, aren't they? A bit like we made that half-track lorry a few weeks ago. Right, here we go then. GoulaschKanone. So, quite a big instruction leaflet. We've got some decals. Let's have a look and get cracking then. Zoom you in. So it's got the nice write-up on the front. We've already just read that, so we don't need to look at that again. We've got recommended paint set is 3038, which is called... Does it have a name that's set? Let me just have a look for you. They usually come as a complement set. 3038. German Wehrmacht trucks. In fact, that's one that we had recently. I think that paint set. I'm pretty sure. So, let's have a look what's inside. Our decals. Well, let's take a look at them. Oh my goodness! Look at this. Oh yes. Now then, how about that? GoulaschKanone. Oh, there's lots of writing on the truck itself. It's so small, impossible to read, I've got to say. It looks very convincing. And then you've got the Wehrmacht markings with the German eagles on it. And then you've got some smaller ones over here. You've got registration, vehicle number, registration plates, etc., etc. Okay, so that's that one. Pop that back in the box. It's safe. And then we'll have a look at this. So it's almost making me, as I'm filming, I'm filming this, and it's just approaching lunchtime, in fact, and it's just making me hungry just talking about cooking goulash and, you know, getting hot stew and things like that. Probably should have done this after lunch, perhaps. Alright then, let's have a look. So we've got sprue map. Looks like a lot of parts. Oh my goodness. Yes, there's actually 6 sprues. 1 clear sprue and 5... No, more than that actually. No, that's wrong actually. Hang on a minute. 1 clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 sprues, 7 wheels that are separate, and a clear sprue on top. That's a lot. And then you've got your sort of old style wooden wheels there. So we go straight into building up your chassis of the truck. Bring you in a bit for this. So you're going to build your truck chassis here. Cross members going in and the main box section being created. Then you've got your engine with a gearbox going on the back, cylinder head going on top. You've got your exhaust manifold, and then we're putting in all the ancillary parts here, like alternator, fan, water pumps. You've got your fan belt drive there, direct driving the fan, and then you've got your intake manifold and exhaust manifolds going on. Engine's reasonably detailed, isn't it, actually? You've got the back plate going on, then it's going to go drop into the chassis, then you're going to create your radiator and pop that into your chassis as well. Then you're going to put some more strengthening members that are going to be the mountings for the truck bed, and your leaf springs there as well. A couple more leaf springs going in, plus the exhaust system. See me a bit more off this. There we go. Exhaust system going in. Leaf springs for the front as well going in there, and then you've got your steering rack going in, being inserted into the chassis there. It looks cool so far. I'm quite impressed by what I'm seeing here. Then we've got our suspension going in, and the anti-roll bars, to be honest. And then you've got your differential, which is going to go in at the back. Then you're going to put in assemble your wheels and tyres. Several of those, of course. Well, there's 6, isn't there? 4 at the, 2 on each axle at the back, and single at the front on each side. Then you're going to assemble that in together. Get your twin wheels at the back. Get that done. And there's a spare, of course, to go in as well. Then we've got our is that the exhaust? No, it's the fuel tank at the side. That's the fuel tank. Spare wheel and the drive shaft going in. Prop shaft, I should say. And there you are. And I like the way they've shown that. Actually, that's they've shown it as a completed chassis, finished there. And then you've got these starting to build in the sides of the cab, or the rear of the cab, I should say. And then you've got your cab side panels going in with the windows. Putting that all together and joining the sides and the floor together. Obviously the engine's right up front in this. Can you see the position of the engine? It's rather inconveniently positioned, you might say. Then you've got your front of your cab with your windscreen, and we've got not sure what that is actually. What is that? It looks like a heater of some description. Is that the heater? Or is that? Not sure what that is. Very strange. It looks like a pump of some description actually, or a heater. And then we're going to put in our instrumentation. And then we've got all the pedals and the gear change and handbrake, etc. going in there. Steering wheel here. And the driver's seat, which looks quite rudimentary, has to be said. Driver's seat and the passenger seat. The side windows going in with the window winders and the handles. Then you've got your rear bulkhead, the back of the actual cab going in, and then we've got the radiator being constructed here. It's got a sporty looking sloped front, isn't it? It's quite sporty really. And then that's all going together, and then you get your finished cab there. Then we're going to. It's quite logical the way they've done this. It's going through one step at a time, you know, and doing the various sub assemblies. Then you're going to build up the floor for your flatbed of the truck and the back, with all your support girders, and then the floor itself with the wooden planking. Then you've got your side planks going onto a frame, and then those all being brought together to the floor as well. And then turning it upside down, we've got our mudguards going in. And then the 3 assemblies you've built, the cab, the chassis and the flatbed, all brought together. And then you're just going to do final assemblies. And, well, that is the final assembly for the truck. Then you're going to move on to the GoulaschKanone. So this is now the business end of it, where we're going to have our mobile cooking unit. Which of course can heat. It's got a boiler in there basically. It's a mobile boiler on wheels essentially, really. An oven on wheels complete with a big chimney. So there's going to be a fire in there, like a central fire pit. And then you have all these side pit areas here, have all the pots of the food in it. So it's just a mobile furnace really. And you're building up a little chassis here, complete with leaf springs that go in. Then you've got like steps at the back, you've got mud guards, you've got your wooden wheels, very much like something from the Napoleonic Wars, isn't it? Looks quite old fashioned really. Then you've got your cross member going in here, and then before you know it you've got your whole thing assembled, complete with a chimney, and then your GoulaschKanone is completed. Then you're going to go back to the truck and just put the final touches on. So you've got your headlights and your low vis, night anti air raid warning type low vis light, so it can't be seen from above. And then you've got things like the jerry cans, buckets. So they provided some interesting items to go in here, all provided in the kit. Look at this, sandbags. Hey, this is cool. Ammunition boxes. Hey, that's really excellent. Canteens as well. These are the thermos type flasks it talked about, having the soup or goulash in. Bottles, you name it. That's incredible. Oh, isn't that good? So all those things are included. No need to buy any aftermarket here to make your diorama. Then you've got the hoops that go over the top, where it can have an awning over, obviously, for a tarpaulin, although that's not actually provided. And then finally you put that over and your work is done. Just need to go and paint it up. So they're showing the GoulaschKanone in the German grey type finish. And then all of your other items like buckets, one or two of them have got decals on them, it has to be said. Wasser bucket, water bucket. And then you've got your sacks of flour, I think it is. Everything you need to basically cook with. You've got these great big thermos type things, plus the ammunition boxes. And then of course you have the choice again of the German grey or the Dunkelgelb, the dark yellow, depending on which way you're operating. What does it say here? Doesn't really give you any locations, to be honest. Field truck. Oh, okay. So the same. Okay, so the same before 1943 and earlier would be in the German grey, and after 1943 it would just be Dunkelgelb, dark green, dark yellow, I should say. Okay, so wow. Well, that's there's quite a lot to it, isn't there? We haven't even got to the plastic yet, but I think I'm going to like this. It's another new tool, and then they've thrown the kitchen sink at it. There's lots of detailed parts included. You don't need to go to aftermarket. Just need to get yourself some figures, don't you? That's fine. And I suppose you can't have everything. ICM will do lots of figures separately, so just buy yourself some figures to complement it all. So, plenty of plastic. It's only one bag apart from the separate bags for the tyres and the glass. Are we going to be okay with the glass this time? We did have a little glitch on one of the kits, didn't we? I think it was the Cossack. Right, so let's have a look then. Let's zoom you in. They're doing well with these kits. ICM are doing very, very well. Look at this. Right, where to begin? Move this over a bit for you. Right then. So this is the cab. So this, you're looking at the front now. That's the front of the cab that way. Obviously this is the rear. Quite an interesting sort of profile to the plastic. It's almost like it's got a texture, like a wooden. Can you see that? It's like a wooden effect almost. I'm not sure it's coming out on the camera so well. Looks like a fine wooden texture to it. That's very good. And you got the side doors. Looks very Citroen-like, doesn't it, actually? And over here we've got the front of the cab. And then that's the roof, isn't it, there? Roof. And then we have the doors. Here. And here. And then you've got all this side planking. It's perhaps not the most interesting sprue, that one, because it's a lot of flat pieces. Very nicely moulded, it's got to be said. Then over here we have got, this is where we got the flatbed element of it with the side panelling, and we've got this rather impressively figured wood effect, wood planked effect. It's nice, isn't it? And then you've got all your support structure that it sits on underneath, and these cross members. It's going in there. And then we have got the main flatbed itself, the main area, which is like effectively wooden planking. So I'm just trying to zoom you out. A bit of trouble with the zoom there. Wooden planking now, look at that. Isn't that nice? Yeah, they've done that really well, very finely done. And then you've also got your mudguards here. Some of these finer pieces. Look at the fine moulding here, no flash. Very, very crisply done. Look at that, isn't that nice? This is the acid test when you get fine pieces like that. Flash free. Very nice wood effects. So that's all good. Pop that over there. I've got a big sprue here. Slightly unusual shaped one. And this has got all these interesting parts of the GoulaschKanone. So you got your wooden wheels, like cartwheel style. Oh, and they're very fine, those spokes, aren't they? Look at that. How good is that? That is gorgeous. Do you know what? This is a real cracker, this kit. And this is your sort of main pot. The sort of fire is in the centre. It goes underneath here. Your little furnace. And then you've got these leaf springs, the assembly for the actual the chassis of the GoulaschKanone itself. And then you've got some lovely figured parts. This is obviously the lid for the fire. And you've got some of these big, like, thermos type containers for keeping the goulash or the soup in. That is lovely. Look at the detail here. Very nice panel lining and rivets, and all done beautifully. That. Yes, that's a nice spot. That certainly is. In there. Then we've got another big sprue. Oh, look at this. This has got all the parts for the cab. It's got all the engine and the gearbox. But again, I draw your attention to look at the finesse of these parts. Look how small they are. Let's try and just introduce you to these. Exhaust. And you've got the individual brake pedals, clutch, accelerator pedals. And then over here you've got the fan, look, the cooling fan, look at that. Individual headlamps. And you've got the steering wheel. The leaf springs for the suspension. Seats, seat pads, cushions. Then we've got the engine parts here, complete with the drive belts, fan belts. Main engine and gearbox, and then here you've got the differential, casing for the differential. Over here you've got the radiator, and then you've got lots and lots of small components. Here you've got the two backs of the seats. See it that way, there you go. So it's that way up. And then we've got parts of the steering, mounting, and you've got the prop shaft. Goes to the differential. Lots of tiny little parts here. Look at this. Amazing. Fine moulding. Beautifully done. Absolutely exquisite, isn't it, really? Yeah. What is not to like there? Really, really nice. There's quite a lot of parts, aren't there? It's there's not too many, because I mean the mould of the engine and gearbox is one complete moulding, but there's a lot of vehicle here. You've effectively got two vehicles, haven't you? You've got the GoulaschKanone itself, and you've got this truck, and then we've got the wheels. And look at the way they've done these. These are really rather nice. Some fine detail. Look at this. You can see the brakes, the brake pistons on the back, the brake drums, where the pistons are. Drum brakes, of course, in those days. So you've got one of those, and then you've got got two of these sprues. Actually, there's actually two matching sprues that are the same. And obviously you've got the wheels there. I think it's actually the spare wheel, that, isn't it? Is it the front? No, it's the front and the back, isn't it? Front wheel, back wheel. It's that one. And then, and again we have two of these. This is where we get all the little extras. So all the things that are carried on the back. So you've got a bucket. You've got these flasks, which are really, I think, for soup or coffee. Which will be handed to the individual soldiers, I think. You've got jerry can, ammunition boxes with the wood effect on them. Then you've got probably bags of flour. And then you've got these little canteens. Aren't they good though? That's the top of the canteen there, complete with the lid. Flip up lid. Aren't those nice? And as I say, we have two of those twin sprues. Very, very nice. And then clear parts. Now we have had an occasional hiccup, but this is another nice one. Look at this. No problems at all here. So we've got a couple of windscreens. Yeah, I mean, looking at through my 20 times zoom, you can argue it will pick up any floor, especially at this sort of angle to the light. But those are nice. If we just turn it to a normal angle like that, you can see that they are pretty much free of distortion. Very, very nice pieces of clear part there, glass. And you've got your headlight glasses here. Absolutely brilliant. And that's the little window at the back of the cab. Like a porthole almost. Nothing wrong with them. Absolutely top notch. And that just leaves us with our tyres, in fact. Let's have a look at these. Now they've gone the rubber route. Now they didn't do that on the other one, did they? They on the half track the other week, they went to moulded plastic, which I think I preferred, if I'm honest. I think that always looks better when it's finished anyway. Yeah, they've got the tread on them. They've represented that quite nicely. Nice detail on the shoulder of the tyre. Yep. Yes, it's nicely done. I think it would have maybe just been better if they'd have carried on in the same style that they did that little half-track truck a few weeks back. Probably going to lose just 1/4 of a point for that. I think that would have been better and easier to actually work on. But that really is the only tiny negative in the whole kit. Even the instructions I thought were nice this time. They seem to have a bit more, slightly more detail, a bit more clarity perhaps than they sometimes have. A fantastic kit. Let me get this crinkly plastic away and then I can summarise what I think. So, GoulaschKanone. What an interesting subject, and as I say, if you've never seen it, you should go and check out the Combat Dealers programme on TV. I think they may have it in the States as well. I think it goes by CBS or something. A wonderful kit, wonderful kit. Slight reservations about the rubber tyres. Apart from that, absolutely knockout. Such great added detail, things like the sacks of flour and the sort of thermos and flasks that are there and the churns that are there, pails, bucket pails, you know. a really nice, I mean, make a fantastic diorama with 2 or 3 figures sitting having their lunch, you know, at the side. Absolutely fantastic. I'm going to give that 9.5 out of 10. I think it deserves it. Only knocked half off for those. The rubber tyres, very small, tiny grumble, that's all. Would not put me off making that. I think that'd be really enjoyable. You know, it's something that's a little bit different and yet very common in the field. You see these on the edge of battlefields all over the place, and you know, from Normandy to the Russian Eastern Front, you see them all over the place really during the World War II. Very common sight indeed behind the lines. So, well done ICM, another brilliant new tooling, another excellent example of their innovation, and they've got a real attention to detail with some of those fine parts, beautifully quality manufacture. Something really a pleasure to review, so 9.5 out of 10. Hope you'll give me 10 out of 10 with a like, a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have subscribed, double check that you've dinged the all, not the personalised, all notifications. Otherwise, personalised, it doesn't sound, it's not as special as it sounds, I can promise you. It just means that YouTube starts making decisions about what it thinks you do and don't like, and it often gets it wrong. So go and ding the all, and you'll get every new video that I release will be notified to you, and then if you're not interested, you just ignore it, obviously, but at least you've made that decision. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned, there'll be more interesting kits to talk about, and I'll be reviewing in the not too distant future. Plus I'll be probably giving you in the not too distant an early update on my latest build, which is going to be the Edward 0 A6M from Pearl Harbor. Give you a bit of a heads up of how far I've got, and in the meantime, thank you very much for joining me. Please take good care of yourselves, stay well, stay safe. Thanks very much, and until next time, bye for now.